So the Raiders finally find their future quarterback. Well, at least for now.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though. That's the problem. I ain't right back. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
With so much rumors going around on who the Raiders could get at quarterback, whether in free agency or whether in the NFL draft, seems like Pete Carroll gets his guy. Of course, some breaking news went down yesterday. The Raiders have traded for quarterback Geno Smith. According to Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero, they broke the news saying that the Raiders are trading a 2025 third round pick, the 92nd overall pick, for Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith. Now, this just comes a day after reports came out, according to U Stadium, that the Raiders were a team to watch for quarterback Geno Smith if the Seahawks were to make him available. Now, looking at it right now, it's kind of crazy because the Raiders basically traded Davante Adams for Geno Smith, because we were able to trade that pick that we got from the Jets for Davante Adams to get the quarterback that's going to be leading us in 2025. Kind of ironic, but hey, at least we got a guy that is solid at the position. I mean, better than any quarterback that we've had in the past couple of years. But one really good thing about this whole move is the fact that Geno Smith already has that relationship with Pete Carroll going back to Seattle. And if there's anybody that helped revitalize Geno Smith's career in the NFL, it was Pete Carroll.
I've always been a little hard on myself. I'm always like, you're not good enough. And, but he helped me change the way I spoke to myself a little bit.
What he did is he allowed his voice to become the voice. In doing so, he just did everything exactly like you would hope he would do it.
But to see that Pete Carroll coming all the way over here to Las Vegas as the new head coach, bringing Geno Smith over here as that guy for the team, goes to show how valuable Pete Carroll sees Geno Smith, even at this part of his career. Of course, this move comes as a shock to maybe a lot of other people, but we've all seen this coming. Knowing Pete Carroll being the next head coach for the Raiders, we knew that he was going to bring some familiar faces to the team. And we've talked about Russell Wilson before, because we know that Russell Wilson does have that relationship with Pete Carroll, even though it didn't end off on good terms in Seattle. But Geno Smith was also another name to look out for, especially knowing that the Seahawks were possibly going to move on from him. Looking at the landscape of things at the quarterback position, there wasn't really a lot of options out there. We've talked about Sam Darnold here and there. We've talked about Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford was actually a quarterback that the Raiders really wanted to bring over here until he ended up going right back to the LA Rams. But seeing that some of the quarterback options were kind of slim pickings at this moment, it seemed like the Raiders wanted to pounce on the guy that they wanted before free agency. Now, a guy that was excited about this move was none other than Maxx Crosby, the $106.5 million man. He tweeted out, LFG, let's fucking go. So it seems like he's excited about this move. But you know what? I'm actually pretty sure that Maxx Crosby would probably be happy with any quarterback that we brought over here. But, if he's happy, we all should be happy, right? This move kind of deteriorated from another trade that the Seahawks were trying to make to actually get Maxx Crosby. Reports came out, according to Albert Breer, that the Seattle Seahawks actually offered Geno Smith and DK Metcalf to the Raiders for Maxx Crosby, but the Raiders quickly shut it down and then extended Crosby a few days later. Talks between both sides continue though, which led them to getting Geno Smith. Now that's really bold for the Seahawks. I mean, you think that Geno Smith and DK Metcalf is enough for Maxx Crosby? And you ain't even giving picks? What's wrong with you? But, I'm actually happy that John Spytek and Pete Carroll were smart enough not to take that offer. But it does make a lot of sense into why the Raiders ended up getting Geno Smith. As always, there's going to be people complaining about this move, and there's going to be people, excited about this move. I'm not really happy, but I'm not really mad about this move. I'm trying to keep it neutral, but knowing me as an optimistic fan, as a biased Raider fan, I'm always going to get a little bit more excited than most. I was kind of excited about Gardner Minshew last year, then I was also excited about Jimmy G the year prior, but I'm gonna try to keep it down though. I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna promise you anything, but Geno Smith, I believe, is a much better quarterback than those two quarterbacks that we had these last couple of years. Now, Geno Smith, I do still feel like is a solid starting quarterback in the league, better than what we've had since DC. And that's not really saying much. But looking back at 2024, he threw for over 4,000 yards and had a 70% completion. Even with a bad line and no running game, That is impressive. Plus, you see what he's able to do moving around in the pocket, escaping pressure. That's something that we haven't had in a quarterback in quite a long time. And if he's able to replicate that over here with our offensive line, which I don't think our offensive line is too bad, but revamping the whole offensive line throughout the whole offseason, adding more weapons there, and also adding more receiving weapons, as well as finding the running back of the future, I think our offense would be solid. I'm just thinking about how good Brock Bowers would look with a quarterback like Geno Smith. I feel like Brock Bowers could possibly go on a generational run, and you see what he was able to do last year with a fluctuation of different quarterbacks, AOC, Gardner Minshew, even Desmond Ridder. Geno Smith, if anything, is one of those quarterbacks that can get the job done and is a quarterback that just does everything right. And when you have a security blanket like Brock Bowers running at the tight end position, tight end and running backs are always going to be your best friend. And seeing what Geno Smith was able to do over there in Seattle, I can easily see him replicating that over here in Las Vegas. On top of that, you can't forget that we still have Jacoby Myers at the wide receiver position, and we still are going to go out in free agency and maybe even the draft to solidify the wide receiver position as well. So with that said, I do like this move. I like the Geno Smith trade, and I know he wasn't my number one option, but he is definitely one of the better options at the position. And like I said before, and I'm going to say it again, whoever Pete Carroll, John Spytek, and Tom Brady bring in over here at the quarterback position, I'm just going to have a lot of faith and trust in them that they're making the right decision. But it's one thing to get the guy that you want, and also another thing to figure out what the price is going to be. With that said though, reports are going around that Geno Smith is looking to get paid. According to Diana Rossini, she reported that veteran quarterback Geno Smith is actually expected to sign an extension with the Raiders and is seeking a deal worth up to $40 to $45 million per year. Albert Breer also added to that, saying that Smith ended up getting traded because he and the Seahawks were far apart in contract negotiations. Adding on to that, Seattle was offering a deal closer to $35 million per year, which was roughly $5 to $10 million below Smith's asking price. The Raiders are actually willing to meet Smith's salary demands and will work to finalize an agreement in the near future. A deal in the $40 to $45 million range would make Smith the 9th or 10th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Smith is entering the final year of his 3-year, $75 million deal. Well, damn, that's a lot of money. But, you know, knowing the salary cap is going up and $40 million is starting to become the base pay for a lot of solid starting quarterbacks in the NFL, I guess I'm okay with it. I know I wasn't okay with Sam Darnold getting that much money, but I'd rather pay Geno Smith $40 million per year than Sam Darnold, because Geno Smith at least has proven it in the last couple of years with the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold is only coming off of one really good year, and we haven't seen anything past that. Now, I know that Geno Smith is slowly declining, and last year wasn't his best year, but I feel like a change of scenery, and I feel like with the right pieces around him, especially coming back and playing for Pete Carroll, would do wonders for his career, and at least he'll turn things around and at least be a solid quarterback moving forward. Now, the thing for me, though, after this whole trade is the fact that I still want the Raiders to address the quarterback position in the NFL draft. Go find your successor. Go find the guy that's going to be learning under Geno Smith, the guy that we're going to be starting in the next 2 years or maybe 3 years when his time is right. I don't care if you go in the first round. Heck, an ideal pick for me would be Shedeur Sanders, because Shedeur, to me, I compare to Geno Smith with the Seahawks, and the ceiling is high, but I do feel like Shedeur Sanders' floor is somewhere where Geno Smith is at right now. And if he's able to sit and learn under a guy like Geno Smith and Pete Carroll's system, especially under Chip Kelly, I think would do wonders for a guy like Shedeur Sanders. Now, I don't know if Shedeur Sanders is going to be able to fall down to the Raiders, but if we're not able to get him, go get another guy. Whether you like Jackson Dart, whether you like Jalen Moreau, whether you like Will Howard later on in the draft another young quarterback that could come in and at least learn under a guy like Geno Smith. But with all of that being said, though, I wrote down some key points of why I feel like Geno Smith is a good fit for the Raiders, and why a lot of Raider fans should at least be excited about this move. First thing being his experience and proven track record. Geno Smith has been able to reestablish himself as a reliable starter in recent seasons, posting efficient numbers as Seattle's quarterback. His ability to lead an offense can stabilize the Raiders, who have rotated through several signal callers. Plus, he has shown the ability to thrive under pressure. Number 2 would be his connection to Pete Carroll. Of course, we know that Geno Smith and Pete Carroll worked together at Seattle. But with Carroll now at the helm in Las Vegas, the established rapport and familiarity with his coaching style is a major plus. This continuity is expected to foster confidence and help implement the offensive game plan seamlessly. Now, number 3 would be his fit and the offensive scheme. Now, the Raiders offensive coordinator Chip Kelly favors a spread offense that emphasizes efficiency and smart decision making, traits that Smith has demonstrated during his time as a starter. Plus, he does provide an improved passing game that has struggled in years prior. And last but not least, Geno Smith provides stability at the quarterback position. Now, Smith's veteran presence will provide the steady leadership that the Raiders need to compete. His ability to manage games and limit turnovers could translate to improved results on the field. Overall, like I said before, I'm really happy about this move for the Raiders. I'm happy that they addressed the quarterback position, a real big need for the Raiders ahead of free agency, because now we can just focus on other positions, and this will give Tom Brady and company enough time to go find the successors, to go find the guy that they want for the future. They don't have to rush and make that decision now. Geno Smith is good, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't think that he's good enough to go and win us a Super Bowl. I could be wrong, and I hope I am wrong, but this at least gives the Raiders some flexibility to go and focus on other positions to help build this team and build the culture around Las Vegas. And who knows though, maybe the Raiders are not done in free agency with the quarterback position. If they do go out and get another quarterback, I would be really surprised, but we'll all have to see until next week. But with that said, Raider Nation, what do you think about the Raiders making this trade to getting Geno Smith? We solidify the quarterback position. Should the Raiders still go out and get a quarterback in the NFL draft, or should the Raiders just roll with Geno Smith and ALC and maybe get another quarterback in free agency? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I know that I haven't dropped a video in the last day or maybe 2, but your boy has been out in Cali for a funeral, man. I've been out here spending time with family, but trust me when I say that next week, when free agency starts, we're going to be back on it. Whatever happens with free agency, I'm going to be breaking the news on this channel. So if this is the very first time you guys are coming across the channel and you love Raiders content, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. Until the next one, this is your boy, some more Raider and your boys. Yeah.